Thank you, Mr. Chairman. About 10 years ago, I stopped celebrating birthdays, and I've been trying to hide on my birthday each year since then, but everybody's got these notices that come up on their cell phones and whatnot, and I get more happy birthday wishes today than I've gotten in my life, I think. But I do appreciate the warm regards, and I do appreciate Mr. Hill's, the gentleman from Arkansas's hard work on this piece of legislation. His common sense approach to it, his willingness to hear out issues and concerns that we have, and to continue to work on the bill to improve it kind of as we speak. As Mr. Hill said, this is really pretty simple bill, and it's a common sense bill to address what really is an anomaly in the SEC rules that apply to safe harbors for various securities. ETFs, as Mr. Hill said, are one of the fastest growing investment vehicles in the market. Net assets, as he said, have grown from $102 billion in 2002 to $108 trillion in 2014. The number of ETFs on the market has increased 23% over the same period. But compared to other asset classes, which have this safe harbor protection under sections 137, 138, and 139, ETFs do not have that same safe harbor protection, and that's what our bill attempts to address under Rule 139 for broker-dealers. The reason is that ETFs are a type of investment company that owns a portfolio of assets, much like a mutual fund, but their price fluctuates throughout the day, trading like a stock, as opposed to a mutual fund where the price is set at the end of the day. And the supply of ETF shares can grow or shrink through the process called creation and redemption, whereby authorized persons, who are typically large institutional investors like broker-dealers, exchange a portfolio of assets to fund for new shares creation, or conversely exchange shares in the fund for the asset's redemption. And as a result, an ETF is known as what's called a continuous distribution, and therefore they are not eligible, if you will, under Rule 139 for this safe harbor protection. The SEC has been looking at expanding a safe harbor for ETF research, particularly as they've grown in popularity, for over 15 years. 15 years. And every time this issue has come up before the SEC, it's received very favorable feedback. We had a hearing just the other day, and I don't know that I've ever seen this before. Every member of the panel agreed that a safe harbor protection ought to apply to ETFs. Mr. Hill mentioned that as well. And that's because it's just common sense to make more research available to consumers and investors who want to invest in a very popular security. Now, there have been some concerns raised recently. I understand the ranking member has an amendment that she wants, plans to offer. I will be voting for the amendment, but I've discussed some of those issues with Mr. Hill, and I think there are ways that we can work out and come to some agreement around changes to improve the bill and satisfy, hopefully, everybody on both sides of the aisle. I want to thank Mr. Hill again for his expertise. He mentioned at the outset his many years of work in this area and for his leadership on this issue. Again, it's a very simple, common sense bill to address what is an anomaly in the protections for broker-dealers for providing research. I'm tempted to use the 51 seconds left of my time to talk about the Ex-Im Bank, but I think we've covered that in the 5 or 6 hours today, and I certainly don't want to invite a rundown on the Ex-Im projects in my district of Delaware. I just hope that we can come to some resolution of that issue. Again, thank you, Mr. Hill, for your work, and everyone else as well. Mr. Chairman, I yield back the remainder of my time.